All right, day one. Okay, so I said yesterday was day one. That was more of a presentation. Today's the first day. So anyway, gonna go in here, get some water and a little cream work for my coffee because I know sometimes you don't want it black. And yeah, doing great so far. Haven't eaten anything. Yesterday I did eat some stuff, but today now. So it's time to go in here and grab a few things. Stuff for my quote-unquote diet. And I never claimed to be major healthy, but I'm sorry, you got caramel macchiato 0 with no sugar. Yeah, I'm getting it. And I got some of those, they call them ice, 0 sugar, and a case of water. So yeah, that'll get me along just fine. See how it goes. Anyway, got to get to driving. I'll be back. Okay, I'm on day 2. Doing great. I did eat a salad last night. It was one of those little cheap chef salads you get at a Walmart, I guess. And yeah, usually I go extreme when I do the weight loss thing, but you know, why suffer? You know, a little salad isn't going to hurt you. And I put the dressing on. But, you know, as far as this weight loss thing goes, I've done a really good job of this in the past. I think my challenge really isn't losing the weight. I think my challenge is going to be keeping it off and basically doing a lifestyle change, if I can say the words. And so kind of just going through the motions now, get this done. Having a pretty good week here at work, although I know this vlog isn't really about my job, but you know, it's pretty obvious that I'm at a new location every time. So I'm up here in Sumner, Washington, and getting ready to head down to Red Bluff, California. It's about 600 miles. And yeah, makes it tough when you're sitting in the truck and driving and, you know, can't smoke in the truck. So, you know, what's left to do but eat or listen to the radio or something like that. So, don't want to eat. So, I listen to a lot of music, podcasts, things like that. You know, whatever it takes to get through whatever your challenge is, you know, whatever it takes to get through it. But, you know, there is a limit to that. I mean, you don't want to replace one bad habit with another. You know, but you do want to occupy yourself and try to keep your mind off of doing the wrong thing and keep your mind on doing the right thing. So, which in this case, it's not to be eating bad food or anything like that. Pretty tough to get some exercise here, I'll tell you. You know, I am in and out of the truck pretty often, but really it's starting to look into these foldable bikes. And where I could fold it up and just put it in the truck and maybe do a little bike riding. I try to walk when I can, but, you know, like right now, for example, this particular place, they're pretty fast. So, I mean, I'm not going to be here very long and I'll be out of here. So, which I need to be by the truck and ready to go when it's time. But even though I'd still like to get one of those little foldable bikes and yeah, take a little ride around wherever I go. So that's how it's going today. And yeah, I'll get back on here when I get down the road a ways. Still on day 2. I'm here at the rest area, somewhere in Washington. I think I got about 20-30 miles to go before I get to the Oregon border. So sitting there thinking to myself, you know, the diet thing, you know, it's important. It's my health. Hitting 52, I just turned 52 here about a week ago. And, you know, it's time to be a little more responsible with my health and that kind of thing. That's a great goal. That's, yeah, it's a great challenge. Because it is a challenge, especially when you've been in the habits you've been in all your life. One of the habits that I've been into is just massive intake of food, smoking, you know, drinking soda. I've done 22 years with just massive excess of that. And it's quite amazing that I've turned out as well as I have. I mean, I could keel over tomorrow, but I mean, health-wise, I haven't really had any issues, which is crazy to me because I know so many people that have just massive issues. Like right now, my wife, without getting into too many details, she's been really sick. I've had to take her to the emergency room multiple times over the last few weeks, and she had a surgery, and there's an unknown problem that they can't seem to figure out, and she's always done the right thing. She's always taken care of herself and, ate right, exercise. At one time, a long time ago, she was overweight, and she lost 100 pounds, like, within a year. And since then, she's been good. I mean, she's done really well. Had 3 kids and still, in really great shape as far as, she's thin, she does the right things, but then all this stuff happens to her, and I'm just like, man, here I am just completely abusing myself, and I'm able to just keep going. It's crazy. And I think to myself, it's also pretty irresponsible to just figure, well, we're good, do whatever we want. At some point, you got to take the wheel. I mean, we're not going to live forever, and I know that I'm getting older. Pretty soon, that won't happen anymore, like maybe real soon. So that's part of why I'm taking the challenge of losing the weight. It's just one step forward into just a whole thing, But, a friend of mine told me a pretty good story. He was talking about, well, I won't say the story, it's too long to go into, but the end of it is that, there's 2 different ways that people do stuff. They do stuff because they have to or because they want to. And so I kind of feel positive about doing different things, not just losing weight, but other stuff too. I feel positive about it because I want to. It's not that I have to. I mean, let's take my job, for instance. I mean, the job I have, you can make way over 6 figures. It's, to me, it's not a hard job. It's actually pretty easy. I don't want to say we're babied, but I mean, we're pretty pampered where I work at. And why would I ever want to leave something like that, right? But, I've been contemplating the idea. It's like, I'd like to have total life change, something different. And it's not because I have to, it's because I want to. And so that's actually a positive thing. That's a good thing. I know that I'll have most of my family and friends saying, are you insane? Why would you leave your job? Why would you go do something and work harder? That's so dumb. Well, because I am 52 and I don't want to be the guy that drove a truck all his life. I've gone 22 years now. Generally, when I conquer things, I want to move on to something bigger and better. I've conquered this. I mean, 22 years of driving, never had an accident or ticket. Got one of the best jobs in the industry, makes well over 6 figures, you name it. Why would anybody leave that? Well, because I'd like to do something different, that's why. One of the things that we've talked about as a family, my wife and I and the kids, that we kind of like Kauai. I like all the islands really, but in particular, we like Kauai. And we've looked at moving over there, and it seems insane, right? Because you look at the rent or the house payments or things like that, and you're just like, wow, that's like 3 times what we pay out here in California, which California is pretty high. Why would anybody want to jump into that? Well, I don't really want to jump into that, but I do like the island. I like the ruralness, I guess you'd say, of Kauai. And so, yeah, I would like to change jobs. I'd like to work for myself is what I'd like to do. But at any rate, change jobs, do something different, and go live over there. Yeah, I could drive a truck over there. I'd probably do okay. I don't think I'd make 6 figures. That's the bad part. I've looked into the jobs. If you haul fuel or something like that, you could possibly make 6 figures, but pretty doubtful. Maybe you get up in the 90s. most of the jobs over there only make like 75,000 or 65,000 a year. And so it kind of poses a problem on us because a long time ago, my wife and I, we decided at a young age, actually, that we were not going to be like everyone else where you have to have the man and the wife both working. We decided we didn't want to do that. Her and I both agreed that I'd like our kids to have at least one parent, preferably two, with them all the time. That's why we homeschool, and that's why mostly she's never really worked that much. She did work some in the early days, but since she had kids, no, she hasn't worked. And it's because she wants to, not because, she has to. Like I said, the goal was to take care of our kids and raise our family where it actually is a family and not babysitters or, well, you might as well just call school what it is. Grammar school is basically the babysitter. I mean, yeah, they learn, but you barely know your kids. Oh, what are you going to do? You got to see them after school? Yeah, okay. Oh, what, the weekends? We just didn't feel that was good enough. Felt that was pretty bad, actually. And I know you got this whole argument about, oh, well, they got to know how to react, be able to hang out with other kids and other people. You're going to make them, not be social. Actually, there was times in this country where things weren't quite so social. Well, actually, they were. They were probably more social because there was more togetherness and that kind of thing. But nowadays, most everything's done online. That's your social nowadays. School, unfortunately, with the interference of government and other people's opinions, you got to watch out where your kids are learning, not just from school, but from the other kids at school. So, I went through public school. I turned out all right. And, if people want to do that, more power to them. But that's just not something that we wanted to do. So she's always been home with them. She's always homeschooled them. And I have 3 girls. They're very smart. And so we want to continue doing that. Well, you can see how crazy that seems when we would want to move to a place that probably costs 3 times as much overall to live, and the jobs just don't produce the money that I could do out here in the States. Well, I'd have to say that's one hell of a challenge. 52 weeks may not be enough, but you know what? I'm doing it. Slowly trying to figure out what our options are. We've actually been looking at this for a couple years, but now I feel like it's time to start moving forward and actually do something about it. So in the coming days and weeks and months, I intend on trying to figure out what is it that we can do to get over there and get things changed. If I have to, I'll drive a truck over there, but I really like to do something different. I like doing this. I like talking on video. I like printing apparel. There's other things I like to do too, but we're just gonna take the safe route, or that's how you're responsible. Maybe, but if you believe something enough and you work hard enough, you can make it happen. And so that's my next challenge. The challenge is get out of driving the truck, or at least driving where I work at now, and move somewhere we want to move, which our top spot right now is Kauai. So let's see what happens over the next year. Crazy, I know, but you just got to get started, and then you need to apply yourself. And that same word, comes up every time: discipline. It's going to be a lot of discipline involved. So we'll see what happens.